Liz? Darling. That's what the staff call her. Respect stops at the handbag. And aluminium? We spell it right. You spell it wrong, but insist it's freedom, much like dogma. As for commas, I use them to give my insults pauses, makes them land harder. Like this. Your entire life is one long, awkward silence. Pause. See?
Your entire life is one long, awkward silence. Comma. Full stop. Period. Full stop. Followed by a belch and an apology. And freedom? Darling, it's the right to spell it how you want. You lot spell it wrong and call it heritage. Like jewelry, with an extra L, because apparently consonants are cheap. And dogma? At least we admit ours is loud. Yours is whispering in Latin, while your house falls down from damp.
Jewelry? At least we've got vowels to spare. You spell it jewelry like it's rationed. Freedom? Freedom to be illiterate. Brilliant. And dogma? Yours is shouted from rooftops in red hats. Ours is quietly sipping tea while we actually read the book, instead of burning it for TikTok views. As for awkward silence? Nah. Mine ends with a sigh. Yours ends with a gunshot. So I suppose we're both quiet, just different volume.
And mine's got a soundtrack. Crickets and sirens. Yours is just the kettle whistling, because that's the only time you shut up. And quietly sipping tea while we read? Bollocks. You're the only country that burned books for warmth, then complained about the smoke. Red hats? At least ours have pockets. Yours just has a crown. And jewelry? We spell it with one L, because who gives a fuck? You spell it like you're rationing the letters. Next you'll charge VAT on consonants. Freedom to be illiterate? Yeah, and you're the proof. Can barely spell your own postcode without a spell checker.
VAT on consonants? Darling, we already have that on your ego. And the kettle whistling? At least it's music. Yours is the sound of your mum calling the cops on your dad, again. And books for warmth? We burned your flag once and called it a barbecue. You burn books and call it patriotism. Pockets in red hats? Yes, so they can carry all the shame. And jewelry? Yes, one L, because your entire alphabet's running on fumes. We save letters, you save bullets. Postcode? Love. We can spell it blindfolded. You can't even remember the zip, because it's just numbers. Your brain only works when the gun's cocked.
Zip code? Mate, that's just 5 digits and a prayer. At least our postcode tells you where you are. Yours could be a prison number. And spelling blindfolded? That's not skill. That's muscle memory from writing apologies on the backs of speeding tickets. Guns cocked? No, love. My brain works just fine. Yours only wakes up when the pub opens.
Muscle memory? Yeah. From writing, sorry love, I was drunk, one too many times. And postcode? Yours is 5 digits and a serial killer's to-do list. Ours at least rhymes. And yes, my brain wakes up at pub o'clock. Yours wakes up at 2 a.m. with a Big Mac and a warrant. Speeding tickets? At least we get fined for breaking laws we actually enforce. You get fined for parking your truck on the sidewalk. Again.
Pub o'clock? More like closing time. You wake up in the gutter with your keys in your shoe and a note that says, don't text me. And yeah, postcode rhymes. SW1A 2AA. Try saying that with your mouth full of pork scratchings. Ours at least tells you which cul-de-sac to die in. And warrant? At least we get warrants. You get subpoenas, and still show up late with Duncan. Fined for parking? Mate, I parked on the sidewalk once and they towed me. Right into a parade. They clapped.
Closing time? That's when we start. You lot call it last orders. We call it round 2. And yes, the keys are in my shoe, because that's the only thing too big to fit in my bra with the rent money. An SW1A 2AA? Easy. Yours? 978W fuck you. Real melodic. Cul-de-sac to die in? Mate, we die with dignity. You die face down in a parking meter, still trying to reverse out of your own life. And warrants? We get them for jaywalking. You get them for suspicious sandwich making. And the parade? Yes, they clapped. Because even your tow truck driver feels sorry for you.
Round 2. That's when you realize the bartender's your new boyfriend, and the keys are in your shoe because the bar tab's bigger than your bra. An SW1A, 2AA rolls off the tongue like a lullaby. Yours sounds like a dial tone after your divorce lawyer hangs up. And suspicious sandwich making? At least our cops eat what we arrest. Yours arrest what they eat, usually an innocent bloke who looked at them funny. And the tow truck driver? Mate, he wasn't clapping. He was waving goodbye, like everyone does when you roll through town.
New boyfriend? Darling. At least he's not my second cousin. And bar tab bigger than my bra? At least I get changed for the bus. You? You sign the tab with a Sharpie and run. Lullaby? SW1A, 2AA sounds like a secret code for we're sending you the bill. Yours is a phone number for a stripper who doesn't call back. And waving goodbye? At least they wave. Yours don't. They just duck. Because last time they looked up, they saw your mum in the passenger seat.
New boyfriend? At least he's not the bartender's dog. And change for the bus? Sweetheart, you don't take the bus. You take the 911 van. And Sharpie? I sign with blood. Yours signs with lipstick, usually not yours. And SW1A, 2AA, it's the postcode for Parliament. Yours is the postcode for pawn shops and 24-hour bail bonds. And mom in the passenger seat? Love. She's in the trunk, still breathing. That's more than you can say about your dating history. And the stripper? She calls back. Yours ghosts you. After the first drink. Probably afraid of commitment. Or rabies.
911 van? At least they don't know my name. Yours greets you like an old friend. Evening, Officer Kev. Same cell as last week? And lipstick? Darling, I leave marks. You leave stains. And Parliament? Yeah, full of pricks. Yours, full of ex-cons who learned democracy from a rap
Where all
sheet.
your laws come from.
And they're so long she's grown moss and learned to file your taxes. And the stripper? Yeah, she calls back. Because even a lap dance feels like commitment compared to dating a Brit. No wonder you're all gun-shy.
Lap dance? Love. That's not a dance, that's cardio. And commitment? Sweetheart, I'd rather be gun-shy than emotionally available. At least I know when to cock it. Yours just fires blanks, usually into your own foot.
Emotionally available? That's cute. Last time you were emotionally available, you cried during the national anthem. And gun-shy? Darling, I don't cock anything. I just watch you shoot yourself in the foot while I sip tea. And cardio? If a lap dance is cardio, then your sex life is an endurance sport. Pity you still lose to the microwave.
And the microwave finishes faster, with less disappointment. And national anthem? At least I have one. Yours is 30 seconds of static and God bless America like it's a threat. Emotionally available? Mate, I don't need a nap after 5 pumps. You do. And you still blame the tea.
And tea's to blame? At least it keeps me warm. Yours blame the beer, the woman, the ex-wife, the kids, the government. Anything but your 2-minute stamina. National anthem? Ours actually mentions to drop freedom bombs on us. Yours lasts 3 hours and ends in a fireworks show. No wonder you're all so burnt out.
Ours lasts 3 minutes, but at least we don't need pyrotechnics to finish. And burnt out? Love. That's your face after one flash of the tip. No wonder you lot call it foreplay. We call it a miracle. And 2-minute stamina? Sweetheart, I go the full song. You go the full Star-Spangled Banner and still haven't gotten her out of her jeans. That's not stamina, that's false advertising. And freedom bombs? Yeah, we've got those. You've got tea taxes. Still pissed about a 2-pence levy from 1773. Get over it.
3 minutes? That's dinner music, darling. No fireworks? No wonder you lot finish with a sigh and a question. Was it good for you? And full song? You mean the full verse of Sweet Caroline? Because even the DJ feels bad. She's still in her jeans because you're still looking for the zip. And the tits? I flash mine for emphasis. You flash yours for mercy. Tea taxes? At least we've moved on. You still measure freedom by how many bullets you can buy before breakfast. And yes, we're still pissed. Because you lot turned that 2 pence into 2 trillion and then complained about tip culture.
Sweet Caroline, mate, I don't need a DJ to tell me when she's into it. The DJ's busy making you a comeback in 10 minutes mixtape. And Mercy, sweetheart, I flash for sport. You flash because the lights went out and someone screamed. As for bullets, yes, I buy them in bulk. You buy tea in tea bags, still moaning about the price. At least we don't tax oxygen. And tit culture? You invented it. Queen Victoria said we are not amused after you showed her your rack.